Okay, so welcome everybody to this informal part, just before formal proceedings start, this informal part of Young Originals. We would like to show you some wonderful highlights from only some of our 85 finalists for Young Originals. So here's a lino print from Mount Lawley Senior High School. Ben has 3 works in Young Originals this year, which was really terrific. So well done to Ben. And this is only one of his. So keep an eye out when you go to the site for 2 more examples of Ben's work, 2 amazing paintings as well. How beautiful is this piece of work by Tiffany from Cecil Andrews College called Heel Country. A magnificent painting and quite large, as you can see, 120 by 100 centimetres. Another reasonably substantial sized painting by Rosanna from Ashdale Secondary College. What an amazing and unusual view that Rosanna's presented here, and beautiful evocative mood coming from this work. Sierra's work, Golden Floral. Sierra's from Balcatta Senior High School, and Sierra is year 8. So what magnificent skills from a student so early in her secondary studies. So Sierra's worked with screen printing, acrylics and watercolour, and pyrography as well to make this beautiful and delicate work. Here's one, bit of irony in the title, so cute. And if you want to have a look at Nora's artist statement on the individual pages later on when you go to the Young Originals exhibition on our website, you'll be able to read Nora's rationale for her work. But what I love about Nora's work is the sophisticated control that she's got of the different textures in lino cutting. And how about this amazing painting by Michaela from Governor Stirling Senior High School? Again, a large piece, and I particularly admire Michaela's skills overall, but particularly in depicting the feet here. So have a closer look at that work as well when you get onto the site. A drawing expressing our times from Emma at Mount Lawley Senior High School. A year 10 student, lovely piece of work. And a piece from a group, Jenny, Kamal and Kirsty from Ballajira Community College with their pop identity totems. We also encourage photographic entries in Young Originals, and here's a piece by Oscar, year 9 from Warnborough Community High School. So digital photography, and caught an amazing moment here. There's a painting by Gladys from Melville Senior High School. Another fairly sizable work, and amazing hyper-realistic skills in areas such as this and this. Fascinating composition. And how was Hannah's piece of work for digital skills? So a digital painting on paper from Hannah, Perth Modern School, year 12. So for people who've just come on board, we're just doing a little sampling while a few more students and families are coming into the WebEx. We're just looking at some of the highlights. You'll be able to see all of these. Don't feel that you've missed out on anything, as all of these works are on the WebEx, on the Young Originals website, which is open now too, and will be open from now on for a number of months. So, but we're just showing you some of the amazing works that are on the site in our online gallery. As we're just allowing a bit of time for everybody else to come on. Sometimes it can take a little while for some people to get their log on working. So here's one from Canning Vale College, year 9, Time for Tea, and this is inspired by a movement called steampunk. So Olivia's year 9, and there are 2 other works from this little project that the judges thought was really quite fascinating and created some lovely work. What a beautiful stylised painting by Macy at John Curtin College of the Arts. Very harmonious colour scheme. And a beautiful drawing painting mixed media combination here, Baby Cradle by Amelie, who's a year 8 from Warnbro. Again, beautiful standard for year 8 from Warnbro Community High School. Well done, Amelie. And how impressive, again, the hyperrealism in this glass study, this area here, absolutely beautifully depicted from Alana, the year 11 from Como Secondary College. Now, Sora here is a year 8 student. So what amazing skills Sora's showing here in her drawing. Coloured pencil and paper. So a lovely piece with humour as well. This piece by Andy at Governor Stirling Senior High School. Governor Stirling had a ripper of a year with a number of finalists. This depicts St George's Terrace. So do go in and read Andy's artist statement that explains his photograph. I really enjoy Lindsay's work from Aberley Secondary College. Lindsay's a year 8 student, and this is a way, inspired by pop art, a way of making sculpture look like a drawing, look like a comic book drawing. A beautiful painting here by Sashi of Perth Modern School. And this teddy bear here reminds us of the times we're in, and a lovely little comment. Kian's piece of work here, a digital print. Kian's enrolled through the School of Isolated and Distance Education. So well done, Kian, for this lovely poster design. And this funny and amazing at the same time, Lauren from Ashdale, mixed media piece of work, sculpture, and quite substantial, 80 centimetres high is the shark and 70 is the dog. So quite substantial sculptures, and really fantastic piece of work. Okay, so hopefully most people are on at this stage. We'll see if more people come on as we go along. But at this stage, I'd like to start with an acknowledgement and then throw over to our host for tonight, Mr. Armando Giglia. But first of all, we as a group would like to respectfully acknowledge the past and present traditional custodians of all the lands we're meeting on and from tonight. So that includes country teachers and students and their families. Our Young Originals launch is being broadcast from the land of the Whadjuk Noongar people. It's a privilege to be standing on Noongar country. The Young Aboriginal partners also acknowledge the contributions of Aboriginal Australians and non-Aboriginal Australians to the education of all children and people in this country that we live in and share. So I'd briefly like to mention our partnership. There are 4 partners in Young Originals. Our hosting partner is WASSEA, represented by Armando tonight. And so WASSEA are the lead on this project and provide funds towards the exhibition as well, as does Sangora, who provide a yearly grant to us, the Sangora Education Foundation. Our other partners are ECU, although it's his gallery partner. ECU partner us in a range of ways, including curatorship and advice and judging and a range of other supports which make a beautiful contribution to Young Originals. And Department of Education is served by Statewide Services, and the working committee at Statewide Services is Karen Lamond, Julie Brown and myself. And so I want to at this stage say a thank you to all Young Originals partner organisations for what I think is a wonderful exhibition this year, and one that you should find absolutely fascinating. So for now, I'd like to hand you over to Mr. Armando Giglia. Armando is president of WASSEA, which is the WA Secondary School Executives Association. So Armando, if you'd like to turn on your sound, and I'll turn mine off.
Okay, thanks, Cassie. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our launch of the Young Originals exhibition this year. As Cassie said, I'm Armando Giglia, president of the West Australian Secondary School Executives Association, or WASSEA. WASSEA is an association of principals and deputy principals from West Australian public secondary schools, and we've hosted Young Originals since 2010. Each year, we work with the Sangora Education Foundation, Edith Cowan University, and the Department of Education to create this exciting event, which in 2021 is presented once again on an online exhibition. And I'm sure you're as excited as me to see this year's Young Originals. I can tell you that the pieces chosen look fantastic. They were all created by students from years 7 to 12 in WA public schools. And this year, 234 art and design works were entered in Young Originals from schools across the state. They include photographs, animations, drawings, paintings, sculptures, graphics, ceramic works, textiles, and so much more. WASSEA would like to acknowledge the 85 finalists, the talented young people whose work has been selected for exhibition. And each artwork has a specific purpose or unique message to express, as you will see shortly. We also thank their teachers for entering the artworks, for inspiring and supporting their students, and for guiding them through the process of design and creation. In a busy school year, taking the time to enter works in Young Originals is a way of sharing some of this magic with others, with our schools and the community. Young Originals is a huge endeavour, and many people contribute each year. In 2021, the Young Original judges were Brendan Hibbert, a design industry and TAFE representative, Sue Starkin, visual arts curator, coordinator and lecturer from Edith Cowan University, Donna Franklin, independent visual artist and educator, and Cassie Bussell, principal consultant and arts educator from the Department of Education. Brendan is also the Young Originals graphic designer, the website creator and judging coordinator, a busy boy, and has been a generous contributor over the many years of Young Originals. Shay Colley produces our Young Originals signature artwork each year, and his intriguing collages set Young Originals apart from other presentations. And you can actually find Shay's work going back over a number of years in our Young Originals website archives. Cassie Bussell, Karen Lamond and Julie Brown from the Department of Education have once again managed exhibition logistics, and that's a huge job, in the lead up to this opening night. Their strong organisation skills are clearly visible, and they'll be seen by you tonight as well. WASSEA would like to thank these people and everyone else involved in bringing together this fantastic online exhibition. It's an amazing effort and it's a great team effort. But for now, it's my privilege to introduce Professor Clive Barstow, Executive Dean of the School of Arts and Humanities at Edith Cowan University. Clive's experience and leadership in the arts is extensive, and I'm looking forward to listening to his insights and forward tonight.
Thanks very much, Armando, and thanks also to the Young Originals team for inviting me to speak tonight. It's a great privilege. I would also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today, the Noongar Whadjuk people, elders past, present and emerging, and for their ongoing contribution to the visual language that is the oldest living language and culture on earth. So welcome everyone. We are celebrating online tonight because of uncertainty in the current pandemic, but this exhibition shows that the pandemic does not stop us thinking creatively or stop art happening. In fact, often the best art is made during wartime or disasters, because this is when we question what it means to be human. We are being tested now to find out what is important in life. Family, resilience, love, friendship, empathy and creativity. And above all, how do we live our lives to the full? And Professor Michael Sandel from Harvard University calls this the good life. So everyone is asking questions about the future because we're unsure. Artists in these times offer hope and vision for what life might look like and feel like in a post-pandemic world. We are also hypercritical of the present and offer very personal perspectives on how we feel and how we share our anxieties and hopes for the future that hopefully will be better than the one we leave behind. For most people who absorb information from the media, we are bombarded with graphs, data, and endless images of needles entering arms. These are all mediated experiences that show us how things look. Artists, on the other hand, tell us how we feel. We leave spaces open for the imagination to encourage people to think for themselves by using the oldest language on earth, pictures and symbols that have been around much longer than words in written languages. At times of disruption and uncertainty, the power of visual language re-emerges to touch our souls and give us hope, a light through the darkness. So never underestimate what you do as artists. We need you more now than ever. And I'd just like to briefly talk about future work, as I'm often asked to quantify the future of work for creative graduates, particularly in the midst of campaigns to encourage students to study STEM subjects with the promise of future employment, and often at the expense of the humanities and the arts. Clearly, we need a balance, and all literature and research is showing us that future work will demand more creative graduates than ever before. Graduates who can work across the arts and sciences, and who can be adaptable to change in employment opportunities as they arise. The main driver for change is because science and engineering are developing smarter ways to work, automation that is already replacing manual work with robotics. And this is a good thing, but it's not a new thing. Since the Industrial Revolution, we've replaced human work with machines, and through this, we've invented new work and ways of working that reflect our time and place. But remember, we can never automate work that requires human creativity and empathy, because these are human traits that cannot be simulated by an algorithm or a machine. In terms of future work opportunities, for example, I often use, the example I often use is the most recent Star Wars film, where technological advances have made it possible to construct imaginary worlds without leaving your computer desk. This is a massive saving in labour and an even bigger saving for the sustainability of our planet. So while the producers were able to save on travel and production costs, the film increased its creative workforce by 70% since the first Star Wars movie, employing 2,800 crew to create the current film with over 2,000 occupations in the creative industry. And 80% of the crew have been trained and educated in an art, design or film school somewhere in the world. So creative jobs are growing, but they're often hidden. Most people don't even know they exist. So the future of work for you all is an exciting place where creative minds will invent new work, and where arts graduates will be the ones who find ways for humans to engage in technological change rather than feel disconnected by it. But more importantly, and in whatever occupation you find yourselves in, creative thinking is what defines us as humans, and it's what makes life the good life for everyone. So stick to your guns and keep your creative practice alive until the time comes when you know how you can apply it. Work in the creative industries will always present exciting opportunities for you to have, but you need to be receptive and open to change so that you can change the lives of others for the better. So congratulations on this wonderful exhibition, and a big thank you to all your teaching staff, your families and friends that have supported you to make this happen. I've just been looking at the exhibition on the run-through with Cassie, and it is amazing work. It's just outstanding work. So you should all be really proud of yourselves. So enjoy the exhibition and well done, everyone. So back to you, Armando.
Thank you, Clive. I get the chance to talk to Clive a few times during the year, and I can tell you thought-provoking and passionate about the arts is the way he always is, just as he was talking about things tonight. And I'm sure you've got a few thoughts now about where you can take your art as you go through looking at the exhibitions tonight. Now, before we all go across the Young Original website to view this year's exhibition, I want to finish with a few key points if I could. The Young Originals exhibition is not only a highlight of a school's calendar, but also an important way that we celebrate visual arts programs and the students who display the ability and education in the arts. The ideas, the concepts and the skills on display in our online exhibition this year truly are a credit to them. We know that the arts embody different ways of thinking and being when compared to other school subjects, ways of making meaning, exploring and inventing. These creative explorations are crucial in today's world, where innovation is needed now more than ever. While viewing the online exhibition, I hope you'll also take a moment to view the Celebrating Creativity video, where some of our finalists talk about what it feels like to work creatively and why it's so important to them. And in wrapping up, I'd like to say a big thank you to each person who entered Young Originals this year and to everyone who supports visual arts and designs in our community. It is a special thing. So now, to view the show, I invite you to click on the link in the chat section of this WebEx, or simply type the words Young Originals into your browser, whatever browser that may be, to be taken to the exhibition website. And if you happen to experience any download delays, because it is technology, we encourage you to take a short break and then access the site again just a little later. Thank you to everyone for being here with us tonight. And now I declare the Young Originals 2021 exhibition open. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Armando and Clive, for your words, well-considered words about our Young Originals finalists tonight, and of course the insights about the role of the visual arts in our society. I want to follow up and just say this is Cassie Bussell, by the way, leading the logistics team from Statewide Services of the Department of Education. So I want to acknowledge Karen and Julie, my offsiders, and encourage you to look at the beautiful video of selected finalists talking about their work and the reasons that they do their work in the visual arts. But for now, just to let you know, if you haven't made chat appear on your screen, just go to the bottom right hand corner of your WebEx screen, click on the word chat with the little balloon, and it will go blue, and then you'll be able to see the links that Julie and Karen have put up for you. Just click on that link, or just put, as Armando said, the words Young Originals in your search area for your browser, and that'll take you to Young Originals as well. Thank you so much to Brendan Hibbert, who has designed and created our new up-to-date extra functional Young Originals site housing our exhibition. Brendan has been with us for a number of years and is very generous about his time and his expertise. So thank you very much, Brendan, for that. And we encourage you, as Armando said, to come over to the Young Originals website now and view the exhibition and take a little bit of time to read the artist statements from our talented students. Jill, would you like to run the video again for anyone who would like to view the video through us? So if you're with us, Jill. I might have caught Julie on the hop there. So folks, whiz across to, yes, you did hear me, beautiful. Thank you, Julie.
Being an artist makes me feel good because I can express how I feel, and I can just get into this creative process where I communicate my ideas in this universal language of visual arts.
It allows people to express both themselves and the world around them in ways that a lot of other things can't, and I think it's really important to have that in our society and to give everybody a voice.
Arts is important in the world because it can show a lot of cultures, traditions, and feelings and ideas through colours, patterns, and imagery.
I think art is important to the world because it helps support emotional growth, which is especially important for young people in our society who are about to step up into the world. It also helps express feelings or ideas about current social or political issues in the world. And art is a great way of communicating to the world and who you are as a person.
Maybe it's important because to create the real beauty of the natures.
It can also provide a snapshot into an artist's time and place. It's kind of like a historical documentation kind of way. And I think this is important because it shows how far we've come as a society and how far we've changed.
It gives me an opportunity to express the feelings that I have and the perspectives that I want to give on a lot of things in a way that's easy for me and other people to understand.
Art is important in our world because it allows all sorts of people to represent their perspectives on issues and ideas which they value and are important to them.
Being an artist makes me feel proud because it's a skill that I possess that not a lot of other people have, and it gives me the opportunity to express myself in a lot of ways that some people can't.
It's important because it shows my originality, it also shows that I'm unique. And it is used to communicate. We can express some emotions that we can't say. This is why I reckon art is very important in our world.
I want to do a shout out again to Julie and Karen from Statewide Services Teacher Development Branch, who created this video, and to our wonderful students who submitted raw footage. It's just so great, isn't it, to hear our finalists talk about the reasons for their work. So now we encourage you to go over to the Young Originals website. Use the link that's been popped into the chat on the right hand side. Here's how to get to the chat, or simply type Young Originals into your browser. Thank you very much for coming along tonight.